Welcome back to Camp Out West, and another week turning our abandoned land into our dream homestead.
Welcome back. Today is a really exciting week for us on the land. So we've got a very important job to be doing this week. So if you've been watching for a while, you'll know come the winter time, our land gets completely waterlogged and pretty much unusable. So last summer, towards the end of the summer, we had Craig and Di come and put in some of our first bit of fencing, stock fencing, but they also dug a big drainage ditch on the back of our property on the boundary. So this week's job is actually connecting a series of what are called French drains or land drains to run into that big ditch they've already done. So really excited for this. Essentially what the French drains are is a series of trenches dug on the land which are going to be lined with a perforated plastic pipe and then clean gravel. So that's going to give a really easy route for any extra water to run away quickly.
Craig and Di unloaded the machines and then got straight to work digging out the first trenches for our drainage pipe. If you're wondering why we're doing this now instead of carrying on with our cabin build that you've been watching, we've actually been waiting all year for our land to be dry enough to be able to get these big machines in and install our drainage. And now our ground was finally dry, we didn't want to miss the break in the weather to get this job done. As much as we try to do a lot of the work ourselves on the land, as we have no experience doing drainage or digger driving, we knew Di and Craig would be the best option for this job. Not only do they have more years of experience driving diggers than we've been alive, they would get this done so much faster than if we were learning on the job.
So this is where Di started. This is going to be our longest of the land drain. So this one is going to be about 100 meters or so. So this goes from our lowest point of the land up the side and then snakes around past the front of the cabin. So this one's there to catch all the rainwater that comes down the drive and from the top of the property. So you can see that Di's gone as close as he can to the fence line, and then Craig's used hand tools then to go into our existing ditch, which is where they're all going to run into. But yeah, it's amazing seeing what they've managed to do with the digger, and they've got a really cool ditching bucket which I've never seen. So it's very narrow and then it has like an angled front, so they're only removing the soil we need, so they're not making a huge mess here. So the main reason that our land doesn't drain very well is this whole area has quite poor soil. And in poor soil I mean it's very acidic and it's mainly clay based. So once we're digging down we can see there's probably only 4 inches of topsoil, and then you've got this stuff, like this is literally just straight up clay, and the clay has got such small particles to it, water can't pass through it. So it's great if you want to make, a mug or a little teapot, but it's not very good if you want water to pass through it. So that's the whole point of having the gravel and the pipe, so there's lots of space for the water to move through it.
First trenches dug, it was now time to lay our first roll of perforated drainage pipe. In total we ordered 500 metres of this perforated pipe, which should just be about enough to do all the French drains on our camping field. first roll of pipe in, it was now time to add on our clean gravel on top. Craig used his tractor so he could remove the spoil over to a different part of our land that needed levelling out. We quickly realised after doing the first line of drainage that we were going to run out of gravel, so we had a few more tonnes delivered. Gravel delivered, it was time to carry on digging the rest of the drainage ditches.
While Di was extending our drainage ditch, we needed somewhere to put all the spoil, so all the soil he was taking out. So we've had them put it in this corner because this was like one big dip that was collecting water. So what they've done is they've actually filled in this area now to give us a nice flat surface that we can actually use. So our plan in this corner of the land is we actually have a polytunnel which we want to put here, which is 8 meters long and 4 meters wide. And we think this gets a really good amount of light. To have a polytunnel and then maybe a bigger vegetable garden next to it. So looking forward to having a bit more space to be able to use the land better. And just like that, the summer is over. Hopefully not for good, but we are very much in the clouds today. We've had lots of rain, so we're going to go and check out how our land drains are working. I checked them the other night when we had a bit of rain, but we've had a lot of rain today, so let's go and see. So even though it's really misty, you can't really see too much visibility wise, but this will give you an idea on the spacing that the land drains are on the sort of camping field. So they're roughly spaced about 8 meters apart, and then nice straight lines then, and then up onto the top we've got one main drain that runs across there and then down the side of the land. The other good thing with these French drains, for now they're kind of acting like stone paths. So you know, our land is always going to be wet here because we have a wet climate. So this means we've got nice clean roots all the way down to the bottom of our perimeter. So this is the old drainage ditch from last year. So this is where our fencing for now has ended. But as you can see, there's water being carried off all the way down there. This is down by the bottom drainage ditch. Just in the middle of the frame now you can see the end of one of the land drains. This is the third one in from our perimeter. And you can see, even though, you know, it hasn't been raining solid now for a couple of hours, it's still working, it's still moving water off the land. So good to see this one's working. So this is the last one in our run. As you can see, water trickling out of this one. So because the pipe is perforated all the way around, it's not flowing out the end. You can sort of see it dripping out the bottom. But at least the water's moving, we don't mind. And you can see it all making its way into the ditch. So this sort of shows what our issue is with drainage. So you can see like the colour change. See this line here. So to this side of the line, this is the clay, and this is the very limited amount of topsoil that we've got. So I've been looking into different ways that we can, you know, add things to our soil to try and improve the drainage. So one of the only things I have left to do, which I want to do, is I want to make like a little guard that goes over the ends of these pipes to stop animals going inside and living there, because that's the last thing we'd want, is one of these being blocked up by a nest or, you know, mice or whatever live in the field. Chuffed with how the land drains are looking, and it's great to see that they're actually doing their job, because on a beautiful summer's day like today they're very much needed. But I'm just going to take a moment to thank today's video sponsor, Squarespace.
If you're new to Squarespace, they're an all-in-one website platform that gives entrepreneurs and creatives the tools to showcase and propel their products and brand ideas into a successful business online.
Being self-employed and being owners of 3 online businesses, we know how important it is to have professional and fully functioning websites that not only help us elevate our brands, but means we can make an income and connect with customers from all over the world.
Whether your business is just starting out or you're managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy for anyone, no matter your web design background or ability, to be able to create a beautiful and professional website, online store or booking platform.
We are currently in the process of building a website and online store for Camp Out West, and what we love most about Squarespace is the amazing selection of ready-to-use website templates already available with your account.
Squarespace also use a next-generation website design system called Fluid Engine, which makes it effortlessly easy for you to customize every design detail of your website with their easy-to-use drag-and-drop technology, which works on both desktop or mobile, allowing you to create websites of your dreams with ease. We also love their online store feature, which will allow us to sell our hand-poured candles along with our Camp Out West coffee and t-shirts to people from all over the world. We love how easy it is to upload our products and get them ready to sell in just a few clicks.
If you ever dreamt of starting your own business or brand, or if you're a creative looking to elevate your online presence, head to www.squarespace.com/campoutwest. You'll get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
The next day we got up early to head down to the Royal Welsh Show, which is the biggest agricultural show in Europe for farmers. It's full of everything you could ever need for your farm or homestead, from machinery to animals. We went to go and look at tractors and also see what chickens and goats they had, as we would love to welcome some more animals to our land. It was great meeting all the suppliers and learning about all the tractors and what would be the most suitable size for our land. But sadly they were all out of our budget, but we did come across a ground screw supplier that is local to us that we are going to book in to do our foundations for our shower block and guest sauna that we want to have on the land. They also had a gun dog trainer who was putting on a display and showing the best ways to train your dogs, which we really enjoyed watching. We also saw this amazing tiny house company at the show. It was great to see what they had managed to do with the space. As we didn't find a tractor at the Royal Welsh, later in the week we headed on down to our local quad bike dealer so John could see what they had in stock, as we thought this would be a more affordable option and we could also attach a flail to the back to help us cut the grass. he's coming back. Good girl. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's here. Good girl.
We just got back from going to view some quad bikes, which was really fun. So Dalton ATV were actually at the Royal Welsh show earlier in the week. They had a really good week and they managed to sell quite a lot of their stock. So they didn't actually have that much stock in our price bracket in the used department. Either way, they were still really happy to help us, and they said I should really try a couple of the different models that they typically sell on the used market. So the first quad I tried was the red Honda TRX 350. So that was a slightly older quad, but all fully manual gears. And then the second bike was a Yamaha Grizzly, I think it was a 400, and that had an automatic gearbox. And I think for what we're looking to use the quad bike for, which is pulling a flail mower on the back and then maybe pulling a little trailer around the land for moving things, I think just so we could both use it, Emily and I think getting the automatic gearbox is probably the way to go. So we're kind of in the market, so if anyone's looking to sell an old automatic gearbox quad, let us know, because we actually sold our beloved Land Rover Defender, which was kind of our dream car, a good few months ago now. It was getting expensive for us to keep, but we also sold it to fund something that can help us on the land, because as far as I'm aware, a Defender can't cut the grass. But now that we're back, Emily's got some stuff she wants to do in the garden, so I'm going to go and give her a hand.
So I'm just in the greenhouse. Our loofah plants have had a really big growth spurt with all this sun, and they're growing a bit out of control. So today we are going to build a trellis for them so they've got something to grow up.
I reckon if we go, that's 6, and then if we go one on the bottom, you can go up at kind of the same spacing. I think we've got enough.
So that is our loofah trellis complete. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And when it comes to the garden, we really want to try and make use of everything we can. And for us at the moment, we have two really big waste products. We've got our garden waste and chicken waste. So today we're going to be setting up our first compost bin so we can turn those waste products into something useful. So I'm going to get ready to set up our hot composter. We were really lucky to be sent this by the brand Hot Bin Composting. I actually first saw this brand in Gardener's World magazine, so I was so excited when they reached out to us and wanted to send us one. And we know we wouldn't be lucky enough to be sent things if it wasn't for all you guys watching. So you know, whenever a brand reach out to us, we always ask if they can provide something for you guys to win. And Hot Bin have kindly agreed to do a giveaway with us, so you guys can all win one of your own Hot Bin composters later in this video, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm going to get this set up.
On the Gardener's World article we read, they were reviewing and testing all the current compost bins on the market, and the Hot Bin was the winner for being the fastest to compost, and it also reached the highest temperature compared to all the other composters, reaching between 40 to 60 degrees. A great thing about the Hot Bin is the temperature isn't reliant on our weather, but actually generated naturally by the bacterial activity inside from the waste you add, and its thick insulating walls really help lock in the heat to break everything down, which helps to create a good quality compost. You can also add waste throughout the autumn and winter too, and the hot bin will continue to compost all year round, unlike cold composting which slows down with the weather. We could have easily made our own compost bin out of pallets, which was something we had looked into, but as the hot bin is so much more efficient when it comes to composting speeds and working all year round despite the weather, this was definitely the best option for us. We also love that the design is completely enclosed. As we are in the countryside, rodents are unavoidable, so we thought this was a much better design and style for us.
Okay, so we've given that a good stir, and that is the start of our compost base done and our hot bin all set up, and I'm going to keep adding to it bit by bit throughout the weeks, and we should have our very own compost in as little as 90 days, which is so exciting. And if you'd like to win your own hot bin composter, just let us know in the comments section what you would pick from their website if you won. You can win either their 100 litre or 200 litre bundle, and I'll announce the winner in our next video. And that is the end of today's episode. We hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you next week.
Here you go. Okay. Okay, girl, you tired? You sunbathing? Make it sit up. Good girl.